amazing metal. What's not to like about it? Strong, rigid, lightweight, doesn't rust, easy to machine. What's not to like about aluminum? Today we are going to turn this block of 1.5 inch aluminum plate into an adapter to fit my 203 transfer case to my 4L80 two-wheel drive transmission. So stay tuned. To make this adapter, this is a can you read it there? 1.500 by 8 by 11 piece of plate aluminum. Let's see. So plenty big for my adapter here. More room than I need actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this a little bit. That should do it. So the most important part of this adapter is to make sure I keep the relationship between these bolt holes on the outside and this inner circle here, this diameter, this cutout. That cutout is going to locate the transmission, the transfer case, whatever. So it's got to be accurate. All right, there's all my holes. Now let's make some cuts, some drills. Let's make some holes. For my holes, I'm not sure what size they are. I can't use my step bit, that's for sure. It's a little too thick. So I'm going to start with a 3/16 drill bit, try to get it centered, and then we'll enlarge it to the proper size here. Let's see if we can get this thing lined up right in the middle. These bad boys. Let's make sure everything's straight here. Yeah, it says 0 on the back, so no tilt. Test hole there. Now that I got my first hole drill, I've bolted it to my adapter, and I'm going to use my adapter as a template just to make sure my other bolt holes are good. I got my holes drilled out and it looks like it fits my adapter pretty well. So now I'm going to drill a hole so I can start cutting out this center piece with a jigsaw. I don't think my blade is long enough. Off to Home Depot I go. About 3 millimeters at a time, but I'm getting it. Success! All right, I've got a hole. Well, my blade was cutting a little bit off. Fortunately, on the other side here, I got a little extra meat, so I'll have to grind back to that line. But I'm about 1 millimeter from this line, or actually right on it in some spots. So this is real nice. So that shouldn't take too long to finish up and put together. All right. All right. Not too shabby. It's late right now. Tomorrow I'm going to try that in. going down.
It's more close than this side.
You can see that. It should adjust.
Is it? Okay. Right there. Okay. I think a little bit.
A little more.
Okay. It's lower. Well, mine's this side and this side. This side is higher and this one is lower. It's like it needs to be tilted.
So,
Like this one is, I don't know, 2 inches, and this one is like an inch.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like a little bit off.
Maybe we can measure that and see.
What's up, Macy? What's going on? Go get me a squirrel.
Alright, so let's measure this. I'm at,
Say 1 inch
how
there.
much from this back corner here? Maybe the bolt is pretty easy. Well, maybe from the edge. From the edge, I'm at 1 and about 1.5.
And this one is like 2.
And we're 2.5 over here, so.
Yeah. It's like,
It's got to come up here.
if we get the,
Yeah, the whole engine's tilted a little
Yeah.
bit.
maybe if you pull it up, I can grab it on this side.
How about we get a board to support the transmission? Then we
Right
kind
here?
of push it around, yeah.
Do you want tape on the powder coating?
No, the board should be fine.
Okay. A big board. I don't think you have one, no?
Alright guys, well here's my 1.5 inch plate aluminum that I cut out. It's fitting pretty good on the transfer case. You know, I didn't go in here and do any trimming around the edges, so I know it's kind of blockish, but oh my gosh, if I were to go in there and trim all these edges and make it match the gasket, I'd probably put another 5 hours into this thing. So anyway, right there you can see it sitting on top of the transfer case. Now I gotta bolt this thing to this thing so I can measure where to cut, but I don't think I have any 3/8 bolts that are long enough, so I'm gonna make a quick trip to the hardware store. Alright, I got some bolts. Let's see how this thing looks. Hard time getting some of these in from that side. That might be an issue later on. I'll have to use maybe a socket head or something. Oh yeah. And this one back here, there's no chance of me getting this one on from behind. That's a problem. Well. Yeah, looks like I'm probably gonna have to unbolt this transfer case adapter from the transmission just so I can put my bolts in, so I can hook up the transfer case. So, I'm not gonna show you guys that. Alright, so I've got all the bolts pre-installed on my factory adapter. All right, so I got this adapter back installed, the bolts torqued down to tight enough, and now we're going to throw our adapter plate on there. There we go, that fits pretty nice. These little bolts might need a little persuasion because it is snug, but that's what you want. Make sure that you're dead on with your alignment. And so now we can measure our cutoff. Alright, so this shaft needs to be cut off pretty much even with the edge here. Just gonna eyeball it, make a couple of marks here. It's a little long, that's okay. There's about an extra 10 millimeters of room at the end of the transfer case. So if you're a little long, you're not gonna hurt anything. You just won't be in the splines. I'm gonna probably cut it a little long anyway, so I can chamfer the edge. Like this is chamfered, so that'll work. I'm going to use this hose clamp to keep my cut as perpendicular as possible. I'm going to go a little long though, so let's try that. Okay, I changed sides for the sparks, but this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Cutting the output shaft on a perfectly good 4L80 transmission. Woo! Rock and roll. And I tell you, I am a borderline genius. Of course, my wife thinks that border is more like a neutral zone, but whatever. I'm not even sure what that means. But that's plenty of spline there. Oh, I just lost a bolt on the bottom. If it came out, then it should go back in. There we go. Oh, and I'm missing one up here. I'll find it later. I'm sure it'll show up somewhere. If you guys have a rear-wheel drive transmission, there's going to be this little flange next to the spline section here that's going to have to be smoothed out a little bit, or else this thing won't slide all the way up tight. So I've already hit it with a sanding disc for a little bit, but I'm having a hard time getting to this edge, so I'm going to hit it one more time to try to knock this corner off, and that should give me the clearance I need to get this thing just a little bit, just a 1/16 of an inch closer to the transmission. Let's see if that'll be enough. That's pretty good. Let's measure that. Now your measurements are going to be different than mine, depending on the thickness of your adapter. If I need this less than 2 5/8, and I'm at 2.5. Yes, so I've got a 1/8 inch clearance there, so that'll work. So I'm gonna put my adapters back in here and let's screw this thing together for the last time, finally. All right, so it's in there. Like I said, I didn't bother cutting off these extra material here because I really didn't know how well it's going to fit, but it is in here now. So we got good spline engagement between the transfer case and the transmission. This is going to work great for us. Only downside, it adds about 1.5 inches to the length of the drivetrain here. So now we need to play around with our drive shaft lengths, and I don't know. I'm still thinking about maybe cutting that front cross member and moving it forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well,
we
this
don't.
one is too far back. It has to be right there in the hole.
Oh yeah, that's even further back than before, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to move this thing forward a few inches. I don't know, 3 or 4 inches would be good. But I've got some welds to cut on that front cross member, so here we go. All right, guys. Well, that took a little longer than I expected, a whole weekend just to get that transfer case attached to that 4L80. But it works. It looks pretty good. So like I said, 4L80, I used the adapter for Turbo 400. It just bolts right onto that 4L80. I had to build the 1.5 inch adapter spacer for that transmission. I probably should have gone with a 4-wheel drive transmission against what I read on the internet, but it seems to be working okay. I'll need to build some custom drive shafts, and I'll have that in a future episode. But right now, I need to get some of the wiring done. So stay tuned. We'll have a wiring episode next time. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.